Agu versus Ninva.
It's Shoku, not Kagu.
Oh, Shoku group.
It's game one. Levine versus Shirion the Mage. So it looks like turns versus a Blood Ruby aggro list. This might be the sockets list that's kind of getting popular. There's a Blood Ruby, not Blood Ruby, Blood Wild sockets list that's kind of getting popular.
Yeah, it looks like it has a Rotpaw gang though.
Yeah, yeah. It's because it's an Underworld Crusader list. So they're using Rawpaw Gang as kind of a high-end curve, I think. Or this might be traditional. This could also be traditional Shoku, I guess. Could see that. Stormcloud this early on. That's kind of aggressive, I think, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know what else he was going to do. Just wait until turn four.
But I mean, usually they don't want to start deploying Stormcloud, or typically they don't start deploying Stormclouds until they start taking turns, right? So I would have thought the play would have been Arcane focused, but interesting choice. How is Levine gonna respond? Maybe Lucky coming down.
So we've got a
Ooh, Runebites could pick up.
what is that card called? Famine, plague.
Oh, Scars of War.
Yeah.
So we got a Scars of War list. This will be interesting. Excuse me.
So with a 6-drop with Scars of War, I'm wondering if they're running like a puck ramp.
Yeah, that must be, yeah. Kind of style or whatever. Yeah, because it's what, Puck's Daydream that whenever a troop dies?
Whenever a troop connects with the opponent's face.
That's what it is. Oh, here we go. So we've already got an eyes. So things are going to start getting wild here next turn.
Yeah, he's got a ton of charges there.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to...
Now he doesn't get to do the eyes next turn because
Yeah. Gonna hero follow the Cyclone Shaper. That's not a bad play. I mean, Cyclone Shaper isn't as dangerous as Stormcloud in this deck, though, because like Cyclone Shaper isn't their win con, right? I think I would have gone for the Stormcloud. But I guess he could have just... Is it? No, Stormcloud's basic. Yeah, he could
well,
have...
the Cyclone Shaper enables eyes on the following turn. It also allows them to play through their entire deck, right?
Right. Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know if he actually had the ability just to kill him on board from just playing through his entire turns deck, but because like these Stormclouds are going to be potent as soon as he starts taking turns. Okay.
So he can only make 2 discards and kill 2 troops here, which kind of hurts him more than it hurts his opponent.
Yep.
In a way.
Yeah.
But he either does that or he loses.
Yeah. So discarding the Eyes of the Heart and the Crackling Vortex is actually clutch here. However, these Stormclouds are going to be able to generate him a lot of his value back. Because he's just going to sack the 2 Thunderfield series, right?
So what gem is that in his I'm assuming it's the gain resources gem inside of his Dreadling generator?
We can check. So the Dreadling generator has, when this attack gains a resource. Now this sometimes likes to pause itself. Yeah, there we go. It's really hit or miss when you zoom in on a card. Ooh, that Cockatoy is a good pickup. Alright, we got an Arcane Focus. That was double prophesized. Gross. Yep. Absolutely gross. So we found another eyes.
He's found another eyes. He has 6 charges on one cloud and 3 on the other cloud.
Yeah, he can just go ahead and start stacking clouds here and just generating an absurd amount of advantage here. Just draw some cards. Ay. Though this does put him kind of at risk to an extinction here. An extinction would absolutely blow him out here. Wonder what the play is going to be.
Well, the extinction wouldn't blow him out because he could just sack his dudes to draw, right?
Right, but I guess it wouldn't blow him out, but it would. It
It
would
would
have.
have been worse
Yeah, it would have been
if
worse than
he.
trying to attack. And okay, we're sacking things off. Found a mastery of time. That was clutch.
So, what do you think about this matchup?
Um, to be honest with you, I think the Sapphire deck's more favored. Uh, these combo decks, Blood Wild has always had a hard time dealing with. And I think kind of the best possible case for he's gonna scoop it up. To say, I think the best possible case for Levine there probably would have just been to open up super aggressive. I don't know how many discard spells or disruption he had main deck, but I mean I could be wrong too. Could be 100% wrong.
The hero fall on the Stormcloud would have changed things a lot in that last match, but then he also would have been able to get the extra turn.
Yeah,
What,
like I honestly think their primary win con is to take turns with the um is to take turns with a couple storm clouds that play and kill you, right? Because then they only actually have to resolve 2 or 3 time walks, if even that, right? Sometimes you only need one. Whereas the Cyclone Shaper, like he would have had to that current board presence, he would have had to resolve 4 or 5 time walks to actually kill him. And so it puts his deck at a lot less. It basically makes his deck a lot less threatening, right?
so, what's the mage player's alternate win con in this kind of matchup?
Um,
Do they usually run Chronic Madness or do they run um, Psychic Ascension?
nope. It's all in on just Time Walk Storm Club.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's all the deck is trying to do. So like just taking that away, you kind of just remove it, right? So, but we'll
Yeah,
transition
getting rid of that
to.
Stormcloud would have been huge then.
Oh yeah, it would have just cut the deck in half. So we'll start loading up game 2 here though.
So this is game two, and we're watching the Shoku player, or from the Shoku player's perspective.
Yep. So you always watch who's on the place perspective. All right.
So Ninva has a lot of cycle in hand,
Quite a bit of dig.
and they only have one troop at the moment, though, and we do have the Horrors of War from Shoku.
Which an early horrors of war actually could be quite clutch here, right? Like if the Shoku player is able to get this Runeer on board unchecked, and then resolve a Horrors of War with still something to sack, just keeping his opponent off his mana is going to be enough, right?
Yes, I think that's going to be one of the huge points of this match.
For sure. And like yeah, so here he goes going to work now. Is that Runeer? Let's just take a second to see what we got Spell Shield, and this can't be blocked by troops with less power than yeah. So that Runeer is really going to do work here.
Yeah, he's going to start punching in face hard.
Yeah. Ooh, the Cyclone Shaper coming down's big here though, because now that Runebind's live.
Yeah, but he can hit the Cyclone Shaper, right? There is Runebind in hand, but
Yeah.
Runebind.
So yeah, Runebind's going to find that horse. See a peek.
So what is our turns player looking for here? Another Runebind would stop second horrors.
Well, yep. Honestly, he's probably just. I think he's just digging for. Horrors doesn't matter right now, right? Because it's a 1XX, so it's going to revert to 0, so it's going to do nothing.
Yeah, but he has second horrors in hand.
Yeah, and so I think honestly he was just digging for more turns cards just because he had the Iron hand there. previously, right? So I think he was digging for more turns cards plus Stormcloud. Because basically, what you want to do is you want to get Stormcloud on board and going, and then you want to resolve like 1 to 2 time walks, preferably Eyes of the Heart, just to generate a ton of charges, and then cast, and then obviously let Stormcloud go to work, right? So
So Shoku's pretty much in a lock now, right?
pretty close, yep. Yeah, because we've got the Runebind plus Ire in hand.
We've got Runebind Ire to protect the cost reduction, and we have an extra turn coming next turn.
Yep. Yeah, so this is where he's gonna go Eyes. Just start getting in. No cantrips though. So
Yeah, that was a pretty big whiff.
yeah, but however, getting the banner going is going to be super relevant, right?
Well, we have these two Runir Hierophants going. They're going to connect in the face for at least 9 this turn.
Yep, they're going to
So if
apply a
he
lot of
whiffs
pressure.
one more time,
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble if he misses again. However, that banner is really going to help. But we also have double Runebind in hand, right? Oh no, we've got Spell Shield on our bunnies. Never mind.
yeah.
Oblivion or Oberon's Eulogy. I've never seen that card before.
Oberon's Eulogy was really big in Standard a couple seasons ago.
Okay.
It gives troops that enter play +1/+1 equal to the number of troops in your crypt.
Ooh, nice. It's powerful with Dreadlings. See a peek. Oh, we got a Shardsworn in hand. Shardsworn's gonna slow this down. No, we're gonna go with the Consult. Okay. Into another Shardsworn. Into a Mastery of Time. Ooh, here we go.
The Shardsworns can't block our rabbits, though, so
That's
he
true.
had to continue digging.
Yep, that's right. He's at 4. He's gonna have to go. He's gonna have to go for the kill here. However, those
Yeah, but it looks like he'll have it.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like that because those Shardsworns being able to or gaining +1/+1 every time he plays a spell is huge.
Yeah, he still has another turn. He can connect in the face for at least 5 this turn.
Yep. 6.
If he runebinds the rabbit, which there's no reason not to really, he's going to hit in the face for 8.
Ooh, there's a Drowned Shine. That would have been great. Yeah, I don't like not rune binding the rabbit there. I think you were supposed to rune bind the rabbit before combat and then swing in.
Yeah, at least he can runebind his own dudes if he needed to, but it's
Oh yeah,
not needed.
it's over here. And that's gonna be it. Taking turns. Okay, I like the that's the first time I've seen a Shardsword come in the sideboard on the Taking Turns deck. That's really interesting.
It does enable being able to draw the 3 cards through the Consult Talon, right?
Yeah, that and it essentially gives you an alternate way to kill your opponent against the aggressive decks, right? Like you can combo off with them just by pumping them.
It was probably brought in to help play around the Hero Fall,
that too. Yeah,
because that Hero Fall on the Stormcloud in the first game would have probably been game.
yeah. It would have. I think you're 100% right. I think it would have completely been a different game had Levine Stormcloud that, or sorry, Hero Fall that Stormcloud. So.
Well, I was rooting for the Kagu, or I was rooting for some Dread Rabbits that game, but extra turns seems to have handedly won that.
That's a tough match. That's a very tough match.
So we've got round one, game one of Squeaky Cookie versus Outzine.
I think that's how you pronounce that. Yep. Think. So it looks like we've got Benvolio. So probably Mono Ruby. Okay. Versus Squeaky Cookie. Or versus Mono Blood. Sorry. Bardock the
Mono
Butcher.
Ruby, tons of face burn versus Mono Blood. The Mono Blood does have the Inquisition in opening hand, but I don't see these
Yeah, these.
Bride of the Dams being as good as they could be here.
No, definitely not. These brides. I think these brides are gonna hurt him, but
He can get the arena regular though.
yep. Which is big. Before it comes down, and then also he's really basically Squeaky Cookie's really going to be digging for his vampire suite at this point. He's gonna really need the life drain to keep him in this.
So Inquisition can take out the quick deal 3 burn, so he can help protect his brides a little bit. He'll be able to see the arena regular, so he can play the bride on the proper turn.
Ooh, this is okay. Inquisition first. I was gonna say, are we princing or are we playing Inquisition?
I think you always Inquisition first against burn, especially when you have volatile troops like Prince.
That's true. Yep. So what are we taking here?
I don't know.
The fireball. Okay.
Getting the fireball, being able to protect the brides,
Yep.
and I guess he'll bait some burn with the Prince maybe.
Yeah, Prince.
Now,
Sorry.
now what are these last cards we have in hand? I see what looks like a burn to the ground, and is the other one the runic burn?
Yeah. So we got burn to the ground. Scorch.
Scorches. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Good
Prince
old-fashioned.
probably does not come out.
No, I don't think so either. I like cycling the coin here. Bride coming down, gonna take out that arena regular, and that's gonna be it.
Wow, just GG right
Just
there.
scooped that. I guess no answer to Bride, right?
Yeah.
Man, that was quick.
I mean,
Might
he
have-
didn't have any troops in hand. He might have played it for a couple more turns, but
Yeah, I was gonna say
he didn't have any gas either.
he might have been able to get there. All right. All right, we got game number 3, or sorry, game number 2, Squeaky Cookie versus Outzen. We got Burn on the play, Benvolio versus Bardock.
Burn on the play. That's a very spooky idea.
It really is, especially for the Blood player. The Blood is so mid-range.
So we've got Artisanal Sommelier in hand. That's an interesting choice.
That is. That's a very interesting choice.
And I noticed that our Mono Blood player is playing a 61 card special.
I wonder if was he playing that game 1 or is that a post-board trick?
I don't know. I didn't notice game 1.
Neither did I. It'll be interesting to see. Prince on 2 here is going to be pretty good. That Seeker in hand doesn't look great, but Prince on 2, it'll either absorb some damage or just any sort of life drain.
He might hold the Prince and wait until he cockatrices some burn out of hand before playing it. Nah, he's just slamming it out there. I'm dumb.
No fear. However, it's not going to do a whole lot to this board.
Yep. That 2-3 is going to connect to face more than likely. He's going to try and swing in with it. Unfortunately, there's a fireball waiting to hit it.
But I think you're okay with that. Ooh, nope. Fireball's not going to hit it. But
No, he's
I mean,
He's avoiding the bride this game.
that's 2 life versus that's 2 life versus 3, right? Like if he missed on the coin, if he missed on the coin, or like, then he would only essentially gain 2 life. Whereas if you fireball him, he's effectively gaining 3 at that point. So you're just giving him 3. But I guess it's a risk rewards scenario, right? However, this liberated berserker is going to be into the righteous outlaw. Ooh.
This is going to be a lot of face damage.
Oh yeah.
And still being able to hold up that fireball to play in response to Cockatrice if Cockatrice were to come down.
Yeah.
However, Bride is definitely the correct play here.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you have to snipe that righteous outlaw so it doesn't shoot down your prince. I think Prince is on the defense now.
Prince is probably the thing that's going to stabilize this for him, if it does.
Ooh, there's a fireball though. That fireball's big.
That fireball is probably going to spell GG.
Yep. And we gotta draw another card. Down to 1.
1 life. If one of these troops survives, he's gone.
Well, we also
Or
have
2.
the arena regular, right? When it gains a charge,
Yeah.
deal the 1 to face. Which that arcane. Well, I guess we have the shard in hand. So he has to hero fall. He has to hero fall here.
I mean, the only way out of this is hero falling the regular and blocking with the prince, right?
Yep.
And even then, you're surviving on 1.
Yep. I mean, I guess he can get in, but then he just dies. But if he gets in and gets a shard, is able to drop the bride, shoot the irregular, and have bride sitting up. It's a very high risk play, but it could actually win the game for him. It could turn this game right around for him.
Honestly, that's probably the play you need to make.
I think
you need
so.
to take
Yep.
that risk at 1 life.
Yep, I think so. And I've watched a lot of Squeaky Cookie. He tends to be pretty lucky, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it off here. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
Oh, darn.
Didn't make it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be... I mean, this arena regular is going to go down. No, I think that's... Regardless, that's going to be it. Yep.
Yep. Nothing you can do about this.
Nope. We also have the additional burn off the spell being played here. That's all she wrote. Wow. That burn deck really showed what it can do, especially applying some of the newer cards from the newer sets. And that elf put in work.
Yeah, it hit him for how much damage? Not including that final swing?
Oh,
At least 6.
yeah. They put in a lot of work, and like all the spells it generated to go along with arcane electricity or how do you spell it? How do you pronounce that? Electrify?
Alacrity?
Alacrity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
That was a good combo. Put in a lot of work.
So we'll be moving on to game 3 in between these two, and we'll see who wins, the mono blood or the burn. My money's on the burn.
Yeah. I think I think I'm with you on that.
Woo! We're in game 3.
Yeah, here we go.
So these guys are 1-1. Now the mono blood has a chance to be able to interact with our Ruby deck. Our Ruby deck has a bit of synergy with their constants and a lot of synergy with their troops. If they see the troop synergy, our blood can interact with them.
Yep.
However, the Ruby seems to be fast enough to just get straight underneath the blood.
Do we keep this hand for the Ruby player? I think this is a Maul, eh? The Blood player's got a great hand.
Definitely. You cannot keep that as the Ruby player. The Blood player keeping the cheap shot, that arena regular is really big. Cheap shot's going to be sweet.
Oh yeah, that cheap shot's huge. Even answering this this turn 2 Righteous Outlaw is going to be amazing.
Yep.
So we'll see if he goes with the turn 2 Prince, because the turn 2 Prince is probably going to be met by the Ire. Which 3 damage to face right off the bat is going to be pretty good. Here it
More
is.
damage even because of the alacrity, right? Or no, that's
Uh,
not damage. I'm right.
yeah, we don't have the regular in. It's a combo with the regular, right?
Yep.
So the question is, what do we do? So we're just going to hold up Strangle slash Cheap Shot. I like that. Save the value for the Bride.
So Bride gets to kill a 2/1, or he holds the Bride.
So we're going to take... Okay, interesting. Take it and snipe that with the Bride. Now the question is, are we playing the fast shard or the slow shard here?
I don't know. I think
Okay.
maybe even a greedy play would have been good there.
I think, yeah, I think he should have played the fast shard just to hold up the cheap shot, just in case that regular came down.
Like I would have maybe held the Bride in hand, and then kept the cheap shot and the strangle. Cheap shot in response to Valor, and strangle whatever else your opponent plays, and then maybe you could even steal one of their troops as a blocker in the future.
I like that. Oh man, we got 3 Ires. Opponent's probably Squeaky Cookie is probably just tilted. 3 Burning Ires, all
Oh
answering his
man,
brides.
2 of those were top decks.
Gross. Oh, ooh, are we drawing here? Going to 9, risky play. However,
You
that
get the Vampire Princess. Unfortunately, it's just going to get shot down if we see a shard.
yep. And it looks like yep. We also have the Fireball. That Fireball was clutch. Righteous Outlaw coming down. There's the cheap shot. Ooh, Minion of Yazukon. All the troops you could have...
Yazakon cannot block.
No, I was going to say, of all the troops you could have generated, that's the worst one. This is not looking good for Squeaky Cookie.
No, I think it might even just be burn to the ground, burn to the ground. He can't interact with it.
Yep. These burn to the grounds are going to do work. Another shard.
Shard is not what we wanted to see on the blood side.
Nope. We really needed a king or a prince or a princess, one of our vampires.
Benvolio has draw advantage with his charge power here soon.
Yep.
And I believe he has enough resources to get him dead with just 2 more damage.
Yep. If we see an arena regular off the top, this is going to be absolutely incredible.
That's
Man.
2 damage coming in from the outlaw, or he can just burn.
I think if you're the Benvolio player, you're just burning here, right? Because you could burn for 4. And then if you hit a shard next turn, you just clean them up.
I think that's the right play.
Yeah. And it's also going to get you an additional charge here. Get that much closer to using your charge power. Man, that Arcane Electrophy is just putting in work on all fronts. Comboing and just the draw power is just so good.
It's drawn 3 cards so far?
Yep. 3 cards over the course of 6 turns. Could potentially...
Sounds good.
And that's game. There it is. Burn. Cleaning up blood.
Yep, blood didn't really stand much of a chance there.
No, it really didn't. That was, wow. Good old Burn. Glad to see that's making an appearance in the format.
Yeah, you know what they say about aggro. Aggro can always 3-0, 2-0.
For sure, yeah. You just
sweep through.
Just run hot for a couple rounds and boom. Awesome. That was a great game. All right. So this will be round 2, first game of our round 2 matches. We've got Thanatos on Cassia of Gold Knight versus Starwind on Angus the Arsonist.
So this looks like a burn versus candles.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be... Oh, no, looks
Oh,
like
no.
Turbo PA. This 2 weeks ago, this made an approach into the format, and it's been pretty. It's been consistently showing up since. I'm really curious to see how Turbo PA does versus the turns deck. I'm really interested in which combo deck actually survives this and stays in the format.
Yeah, I think it really depends on how well they're able to answer each other's approach.
Yeah, and it looks like Starwind's on Classic Burn. It's kind of interesting to see different takes on different decks, eh?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what our Turbopop player does against aggro.
Yeah, it'll be
It's
interesting to see.
looking it's looking like a very rough game one.
It really is, yeah. Then again, these light devotas are going to be good. We also have the evaporate, yep. Which the evaporate is not bad there, slowing down the old turn one goat. Are you just taking this? Yep. Draw the card. I think that's almost better for the Turbo PA player. Ooh, we got a Cyclone Shaper in hand too. So could have an early Cyclone Shaper come down, and we do have the evaporate to both interact and protect it. Which I don't hate the idea of that. Oh no, we actually powered that Cyclone Shaper.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice.
That's a very interesting choice, yeah. And he's just going to continue to give life to draw cards. Now, why did we evaporate before combat there? That was an interesting choice. Was that maybe a mess up, I wonder?
I'm wondering if they're just tilted. I don't know. I don't know why they empowered instead of playing it that early.
Yeah, that confused me. Then again, though, a big 4/6 is actually well. You know what? Actually, if you think
Yeah,
about
but
a 4/6 is. Oh, it had mobilize.
it did have mobilize. But if there was an answer to the troops to play this,
That is true. It's
would
a risk reward, but I don't know if the burn player can actually get through a 4/6 other than going wider than it, right? It's tough to say, but I kind of like that play. It having
I do.
mobilize.
I just think he empowered it a turn early,
Yeah, I agree.
since you can do it at any time.
I agree. It definitely took that option away to power it out if you needed to. All right. So the double
So he's
crack and
going
gold.
face.
Yep. No, I mean he's already at 6, and we do have.
He's got a burn to the ground and a fireball.
Yep. It looks like is that a burn to the ground?
I don't know. It doesn't look like a burn to the ground.
Oh no, we've got a burn. So we got a burn and a
Burn.
fireball. So we've got.
One-
Let's click there. We've got 5 points of damage to face.
But a rune bind could make the difference.
Into guidance. Into heart zero cost hearts whisper. This is big. We might go right into psychic extension this turn. Ooh, just
This
missed it.
looks like it might become GG, depending on what we draw.
Yep. Yeah, well, this will be tight. This will be very tight.
So one resource could spell lethal. However, we do have double free rune bind
Yep.
protecting our candle player.
It's just do you. It's gonna be an interesting choice here. Do you choose to rune bind a creature or save it for the burn? And what are you throwing under the bus here? Okay. So I imagine we'll see fireball to face here. Also, putting a fireball under a rune bind, that is fireball and or burn. That's dangerous.
I don't think we fireball face here. I mean, it's 1 mana for the fireball.
Yep.
If he sees a resource, he's able to get an extra 3 damage from hand and play the fireball after another burn spell next turn. Or if he can play it in any of his burn spells in the same turn for lethal, can he?
Nope, he's burn only does 2. He's actually 1 short altogether.
I'm talking if he draws a burn, but that's fine.
Oh yeah, okay, got you. Yeah. Oh, even if we draw a shard too, we do have the Angus. So we did go ahead and put that fireball into that rune vine. So basically, a shard is going to represent lethal next turn, unless our turns player can kill him here. We do have the polymorphic army. Actually, we can just kill him here.
This looks like it will be lethal.
Yep, we can just kill him with the polymorphic army. Wow.
And GG.
Polymorphic army putting in work. What an interesting matchup. That was not how I expected that to go.
Not at all. However, with decks like this, it really is just explosive when it goes off, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. If like that Cyclone Shaper unchecked was just huge. So now I'm just questioning. I guess the Empowered Cyclone Shaper was the right play, eh? Like
Yeah,
that.
Powered Cyclone Shaper was definitely the right play when it has Mobilize.
Yeah, it just made all the difference. That was huge.
The Cyclone Shapers give you the option to go through your deck with all of your cycle.
Yep.
So let's go and see what happens in round 2. Okay, game 2. The first game, our Turbopod deck had an explosive victory, and it was really close.
Yeah, that was that polymorphic army was clutch. Let's I guess we'll see how this plays out. Burn on
This
the
happened.
play though. Oof. I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how Turbo PA does against Burn on the play.
Yeah, I don't know. The Bolt Spasm doesn't seem to be getting around candles too well. Our opponent plays the 4 resources that create candles. They also play the Escalation Candle Maker. The Psychotic Arsonist, though, I think they'll be able to get the cards to really push this through.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Psychotic Arsonist is probably their best bet against. Then again, though, giving Turbo PA cards is kind of terrifying.
A little bit.
So the Bolt Spasm does come down here. It'll be met with a 1/1 candle. Light the Votos off the top. Ooh, Righteous Outlaw. Now, are we playing the... Okay. Still playing the Anarchist.
We definitely can't play the Righteous Outlaw through here.
Yeah.
However, he is going to offer the Bolt Spasm to trade to get that Anarchist or the Outlaw out next turn.
Yep, which I like that. Then again, though, are we gonna... We do have the Drop a Wax here that we can meet it with. So are we holding up Evaporate / Transmogrifade, or are we playing the Drop a Wax? That's the question of the day, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and play the Drop a Wax.
Yeah, I guess it's better to have the 1/1 blocker than to discard a card.
Yep. And I mean, really, the PA player can use this Anarchist as essentially fuel too, right? Like his life total is high enough that they can go ahead and use that to their advantage, draw some more cards, fill into their deck. So we did burn down the candle.
And we got a goat this turn.
Yeah, that's huge. Ooh, and we found another fireball. We have 6 damage in hand.
6 damage in hand, 6 damage on the board, and a draw. And he's able to answer the Cyclone Shaper.
Which is crucial. However, we do have the Evaporate / Transmogrifade here in hand.
Now, the Evaporate isn't going to be too crazy because it puts the Turbopod player back on tempo, and we want that as a burn player.
Yep. So this is actually going to be huge. Ooh, we picked up a burn too. So we also have a Valor, a Fireball, and a burn in hand.
So that's representing another 6 damage from hand.
Yep. Oh, we're just
And
going
he's
to let...
evaporating the opponent's troop.
Interesting. Evaporating the Wind Speaker.
So that way he cannot play it again in the future.
I don't hate that. I mean, your Cyclone Shaper did absorb 3 damage to face for you though, right? Effectively, so that's pretty relevant. We also have the Wax Sacrament, so we get another blocker here.
Now, how close is this Psychic Ascension from being online? Not that that's going to be relevant this game.
I don't think it's anywhere near being online. The second Anarchist too is probably going to clean this up. I think our opponents, or I think the burn player is just getting too much.
The burn player has lethal this turn from both Fireball and Charge Power.
Wow.
Those Psychic or Psychotic Anarchists really did a ton. It's Arsonist, I mean.
Arsonist, yeah, they did so much work. Wow. That was crazy.
I think what really is going to determine this third game is how much tempo the Ruby's going to be able to get over our Turbopod player.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess we'll find out.
So now we're moving on to game 3. We have Turbopod on the play, which is going to be really crucial.
Yeah, I almost wonder if this match is a coin flip match. Like, it seems like whoever's on the play just has such an edge, right? Because that tempo is just so necessary.
The extra turn for Turbopod to get into their combo, to get into their draws, to be able to monopolize off of the cost reduction from their Cyclone Shapers is really big. However, I think the Ruby sees a little bit less variance than the Turbopod player does for these first couple of turns. This hand for our Ruby player is awful, though.
Yeah, that's a shame having them all to 5. However, our Turbo PA turn, our player is pretty slow, so this might be okay.
If the Anarchist can get through, or Arsonist can get through and make face damage with our Turbopod player, I think the Ruby player can come back on this.
Yep. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Bit of a cough. No burn in the end phase, hey? Not even to face. Interesting. So the question is it Goat and burn the Thunderfield Seer? Or is
Maybe he's just really confident with the Anarchist connecting to face.
He could be, yep. But also, if you think about it, there's a certain amount of benefit to it, to the PA player as well, right? Like, drawing him into potential cantrips or even into Cyclone Shapers. Yeah, so that Anarchist is coming down. We are going to take that. And we found a Prophesized Evaporate. That's actually big.
Yes, that represents an additional 2 draw, possibly.
Yep.
And allows us to get an extra block out of this Seer if wanted.
Ooh, we can actually get it. We're actually going to get aggressive with this Seer. I kind of like this turning sideways. It is almost a race between these two decks, so.
A little bit. But I don't know if our Turbopod player wins without going combo. And I think if they go combo, they win without no matter how much damage is on the opponent's face.
That's true, yep. So is the burn player shooting down the candle here to get in? Nope.
Looks like they're going to wait until their Goat represents more damage.
Yep.
Cyclone Shaper off the top, it could be huge. We have
especially with
Cyclone
that.
Shaper with the Consult the Talon.
Yep. Plus we have the Heart's Whisper, and we've got the Runebind and Transmog. Ooh, another Light the Votives. Wow.
That was massive.
Yep.
Runebind and Transmogrifade is held. We have a ton of Jaw in hand. He ate 4 damage for nothing.
Yep.
6 damage in exchange for that Cyclone Shaper. That was really massive for the Turbo Pop player.
And then we get to also trade with the Anarchist here. That's huge.
We have 2 damage represented by the rune, and then the goat represents nothing.
Yep.
I think our Turbo Pop player has this.
I think so too. I think he just pulled too far ahead at this point.
Yeah, 14 damage is a lot for our Angus player to want to make out of top decks. They're not going to have any draw function to get there. And from here on out, our Turbo Pop player is going to be holding up 3 answers.
Yep. Yeah, that was massive. That last turn was so crucial for our Turbo Pop player. And we even now have a mobilized Runebind. Wow. And 3 Transmogs. I'm gonna say this is just about over. We can consult here. Light the Votives. Escalation 3. We're gonna make 3 more candles. Wow.
Yeah, it's just going to be going through the motions.
Yep.
Unless our burn player has something really crazy like 1 damage to all ground troops, and even then, what's it really going to accomplish?
Yep. Interesting. We have a Tribunal Magistrate out of the side. It's a 0-5, so I like that. And also, we just found a Psychic Ascension on 4. These goats are doing nothing. I think at this point the burn player is pretty much, especially with the drawing the 7th shard there, I think you're just pretty much wrapping it up because these goats are just never getting through.
Now, the Tribunal Magistrate out of the sideboard against the burn player, it's a bit slow, but it is a 0-5.
Yeah, I actually think I like that on the play. I don't know, we didn't see it on when he was on the draw at all last game, and he saw a fair amount of cards. I like it on the play though because it probably does come down fast enough, and like you said, a 0-5 dodges all the burn, right? It dodges all the removal.
Yeah, it does take a lot of effort for your opponent to get rid of it.
Yeah, I actually like that, and I know it's a critical card for the mirror, which is now relevant in this format. So I actually like that. That's a good use of that card.
A very fast series in between these two.
For sure, and I think I stand corrected on the fact that Burn and Turbo are pretty much 50-50, and it's whoever's got the play. I think that's a coin flip match, it seems. Because like
it definitely feels that way.
Yeah, because both decks just when they were on the play, it just went to work, right? Like it was just no contest. So, all right. So Thanatos, moving on 2-1. All right, so we've got Z-Bounder versus Odyssey Dank. Looks like Turns versus Grandfather Elk.
Oh my, I wonder what Grandfather Elk looks like in Immortal right now.
I'm curious. Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a Grandfather Elk deck. This will be interesting.
I'm assuming it's going to be Ruby Wild, but it could be about anything, couldn't it?
It really could. Yeah, we do have a fairly large card pool to pull from. It's kind of looking like Mono Wild.
Yeah, we see Krako, Runir,
Uh,
double create a troop Coyote that I don't know the name of.
I think it's Mistweaver Agent or Ancient. And then we also had the monster. We did take them all, so we got a Chlorphilia. Yeah, it's got to be Mono Wild.
This mole is actually really nice. It looks like he's going to be able to hit the 5.
Pretty consistently, yeah. That's gonna be huge
And
coming down. Ooh, we also found our Mana Dork, our Howling Brave. That's big.
oh my.
That's
This
very
might
big.
be early Runebind.
I'm thinking so. I think as the turns player, you kind of have to acknowledge that Howling Brave and get rid of it.
You
There's,
can get the Runir on the stack, right?
yep. However, though, letting this Runir come down and only putting it under a rune bind is that's dangerous because like that Runir is huge in this game. It also looks like so it's Runir with Spell Shield and the Rhino generating gem. That's massive if that resolves.
Now we do have double Cyclone Shaper, so if we get a good draw off of the Consult the Talon, Turbopaw can go off pretty early.
Yep.
Getting the Runir back from the Rune Bind the turn after it was trapped is going to be massive as well.
Yep. This isn't Trophy, by the way. This is the turns deck.
Oh, this is the turn stack.
Yep.
Oops.
The 9 of turns deck. So this is the Stormcloud combo. But then again, though, Stormcloud, an early Stormcloud being able to get in the way of this Runir is actually massive. Ooh, we activated a champ power on the Runir there. Why do we do that? That's an interesting choice.
I think maybe our opponent just forgot about Summoning Sickness.
He might have, yep.
So we got a Ancestors chosen here.
Well, that's an interesting choice. This is game 1, too, so maybe an anti-aggro. Interesting. Tech?
Ancestors chosen seems to be a bit more of a late game card.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it does. It is a 1/1 body that you can throw in front of something. So
Now, Nineveh has not drawn into Cycle since dropping those Cyclone Shapers. Those 3 cards drawn off of Consult the Talon were really poor cards.
they really were. Yeah. And that this Balthazar coming down, being able to gas Z-Bounder back up is huge.
Our turns deck is probably about to clock out, living off a top deck.
I think so. I think at this point you really got to go turns into turns into turns, and I mean you do have this double Cyclone Shaper, so it's doable. But the question is, I guess, are you forced to throw these Cyclone Shapers under the bus? Nope, we're just gonna take it all.
It's the only play.
Oh, there's a
Now
peak,
the peak is good.
and it's free.
However, he could have played a Sapphire Shard to look at one additional card there.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting choice, but I guess is it if you find a Stormcloud though, holding the Crackling Vortex is probably huge, right?
Well, he doesn't live through the next turn. He
No.
has to go into more turns. So he's looking for draw, cycle, and it looks like he didn't find it.
He did not. Nope. Yeah, so that 6th card might have been the difference. That's unfortunate. Still, though, really interesting take on Grandfather Elk. Very interesting take on Grandfather Elk.
Grandfather Elk with the create a dude Coyotes tends to be pretty nice. I don't know what other techs we're playing here. It just looks like some ramp, the bunny, and good cards.
Yeah, just good old ramp and mono wild beatdown. All right, game number 2. Nineva is going to be on the draw again, or on the play again, versus Grandfather Elk. Pretty incredible how explosive the Grandfather Elk deck was last game, though. That Mono Wild beatdown.
Now, Grandfather Elk is on the draw now, which allows our turns deck to get some answers to get into their early beatdown.
Yep.
Now, in chat, we have somebody asking, why is Banks in the watch list? I think this is a pretty good one to talk about. I feel like with all of the charge game that's been printed into Immortal, Banks being able to just grab any troop you want from your crypt and slam it into play is kind of a massive charge power.
Oh, for sure. And just like, I mean, Diamond Sapphire Control using Banks, getting back Dark Hearts and stuff is huge. Also, the Diamond or the Diamond Wild list, the ramp list. I mean, just being able to reuse Seekers and stuff like that, that's massive.
Now we have a counter magic and 2 rune binds, but we don't have a lot of work to go into this consult the talons, and we don't have any cost reduction here.
Interesting keep, yeah. Very interesting keep.
Now this Runeer is never going to make it to the board. Even if we weren't holding up the 3 resources, it's going to be Rune Bind on the Runeer and then Counter Magic when it comes out of the Rune Bind.
Which this counter magic on the Runeer is huge, because the Runeer is your best card in this matchup.
Yeah, having that troop as a 5-mana 2/2 is going to do a lot of work against our turns player.
Yep. However, though, if we just keep holding the line here and drawing shards, this is going to be. And we're doing that. We're just holding the line and drawing shards. I mean, our mono wild player hasn't really been able to get on the ground running here.
Yeah, they're going to try and push through the create a troop coil this turn, I'm pretty sure. We'll hit a Runebind. Hopefully our wild player is going to play around Runebind and not use their charge power on it.
Hopefully, yep.
Playing out the Crocosaur.
Interesting.
Now, Crocosaur could be an answer to a Cyclone Shaper later on.
Yeah, that's a very interesting choice. No Mastery time yet, eh? Just holding that. Then again, I guess if you're sitting behind 3 Rune Binds, it's pretty good.
So are we going for the card draw here, or are we trying to put on a lot of pressure with the Speed Troop?
I think at this point, yeah, I was gonna say, oh no, okay, interesting. I think at this point I would have chose the card draw, because you know the game's going long now. Okay. But I could also see, I could definitely see, since your opponent hasn't really done anything, merit to putting the pressure. I could see that line as well.
Being able to bait out a Runebind here could be pretty good. With the card draw, we're able to get the Speed Troop out of Runebind and onto the field.
Yep.
Most likely next turn even. So I'd maybe try and just push another Speed Troop here.
Ooh, this is huge though. And we did hardcast that
Gargolith.
Gargolith is big too. I don't know if I would have hardcasted that Consult last turn. Like, that was a dangerous play. You basically are at the point where you need to combo off now as the turns player.
Yeah, I don't think Nineva has any way to delay a full board.
I don't
they
think so either.
They don't run any 5-mana bounce all troops.
Not that I've seen yet. I mean, there could be a tech here that we're unaware of.
I could definitely see 5-mana bounce dudes being a decent reserves in the mono wild matchup.
I agree. However, I don't know how much it's going to even do for you here, knowing that Ancient's going to come down and we do have double turns cards though here, which means we do get to eyes this turn and then just start generating a bunch of charges, get our draw 2 going. Oh, we also get to get our banner going.
He's going for the mastery this turn.
Okay.
I'm a little bit surprised about the mastery over the eyes.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right play would have been there. I getting the charges, getting the second banners. There's definitely merit to that, right? See, I think you're right. I think the play might have been. I think it might have been better to go for the eyes there. Got a counter magic. Ooh, we found another mastery of time. We might be doing it.
Yeah, we have another turn. We're peeking through the deck.
We're drawing an additional card. Ooh, and we have the Storm Cloud. Oh yeah, this is gonna be it.
Second banner's here. This looks like it's going to be GG.
Yep, we're finally gonna see a combo off here.
We'll probably see a Runebind on this turn, just to pop the cloud early.
I think so. I think you would just go ahead and double Runebind at this point. That would give you 4 more charges on your cloud.
Ooh, didn't see another extra turn.
Neither did I.
However, the cloud's going to find draws, so it doesn't matter too much.
Yep. Yeah, at this point I would just be Runebinding just to make the cloud bigger. Or just to get more charges on the cloud, I think. Nope. We're holding on to those Runebinds just in case. I mean, it could be the difference between you winning this game and not. I think we only got 1 draw cloud, too.
Yes, this is unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. However, we do have the Runebind for that Ancient. And that is the only crushing troop on board, so we do have a decent amount of block here.
He can kill the Ancient by popping the lightning bolts,
He could,
the
yep.
Biddy bolts.
And he only needs to pop 3 of them. Actually, he could just about clear his whole board here popping those. And just have to worry about blocking the 6-6. I guess then the 6-5. However, we did pick up an Into the Unknown that is only a 1-drop right now.
We have Into the Unknown, double Runebind, and a counter magic.
Yep.
So the board should be protected for at the very least a turn. And that's 4 draws he's going to have for the next turn.
Which is going to be incredible.
So he might just protect this board, not waste any of his troops. 1 extra turn might be enough to get the GG.
Yep, I think you're right. I think that's where you're at. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Zubonder responds to this, because obviously Zubonder's got to, like, what's going through Zubonder's head is he's got to know he's going to be playing through some sort of counter magic, right?
Yeah, our 9-vet kind of misplayed a couple of the cards, I think, there.
I think so as well. Yep.
I think playing the eyes a little bit late was a bit of a mistake, and he played resource before the eyes.
Yep. Which would have gave him 2 additional charges. Oh, I gave him a lot more charges. He probably would have had a lot more banners at this point. Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. So we are going to Runebind that. Okay. Interesting choice, because that doesn't have speed or anything like that. It's not really threatening you here, and I think at this point you're planning to kill you have to kill your opponent next turn.
I don't think he gets another turn. Not with triple banner.
I don't think so either. Oh, I would assume Z-Bounder doesn't get another turn, but I'm thinking in the 9-Vent's shoes, I don't think that's what's killing... Sorry, Mightsinger isn't killing you this turn, so I don't think that's worth wasting a Runebind on.
9-Vet is going to just save all 3 cards for lethal damage. He's going to probably try and conserve as many troops as possible. If they weren't trying to conserve troops, they would have popped some of the Biddy bolts last turn.
Yep.
To kill the crushed troop.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you Runebound the. I guess maybe he hadn't played a shard yet, so maybe there was merit to the Mightsinger potentially drawing him into more speed troops. I could see that argument. Maybe that's why he Runebound that, but I still don't think Mightsinger was worth the Runebind. I think I would have rather been Runebinding his big things, just to, like you said, conserve troops, right? There's a Garg. So now he's going to be forced to use that other Runebind, which now means he's going to have to commit more troops to the Ancient to not die.
And again, this comes back to not popping the 2 Biddy bolts.
Yep.
On the crushed troop.
So we did see the Runebind come down. Oh wait, did he pump up the Crush Troop? He pumped up the Crush Troop. Oh, that was also a misplay on Z-Bounder. I think you were supposed to spread your Crush damage around there.
No, the charge power doesn't give Crush.
I thought it did. Yep.
Oh, it does. Never mind. I'm dumb.
Yeah, I think you were supposed to spread out the damage there. I think the Croc should have.
I think it should have gone on the Spell Shield troop, right?
Oh yeah, on the 6-6, yeah.
There's no way that was supposed to go on the other trip.
No, I agree. That would have been a 9/9 with Spell Shield coming across with Crush. You would have forced. Whoa, okay. You would have forced your opponent to have to block that.
That would have forced him to have to find a second cloud or another win con.
Yep. Oh, we found the mastery time. I think this is gonna be game, right? We can just go swing, mastery, swing.
He has 4, 5, 6, 7 draws. Even if this isn't enough to do over 50% of the life, and it is.
Yep. And we just found another eyes. Yep. And another consult. And that's gonna wrap it up. Interesting lines from both players there.
I feel like the wild player threw a little bit on that last turn.
I think so too. I think he might have been able to get through. Especially since, like I said, he burnt our turns player burnt that Runebind on that Might Singer, right? Which means he was down to 2 removal spells, which means he was going to have to face down a 9/9 Crush, and potentially another Crush, because he would have been able to protect the other Crush troop, right?
Yep.
So I think, and then also the Croc coming across. I think that would have forced our turns player to have to sack a few more clouds, which might have been the difference.
Yeah, we saw some small misplays from our turns player, and a couple big misplays from our wild player, and I wonder if this is going to affect them in Game 3 at all.
It'll be interesting to see, but I guess we'll find out. All right, so on to game number 3.
So we got Elk on the play. Now, Elk on the play can be really nuts. We have the old Runir or the Howling Brave into Runir Hierophant for the turn 2 Runir.
Ooh, we also have some Drowned Catacombs.
Are going to be big.
Is it Shrine or Catacombs? Sorry.
It's Shrine.
Drowned Shrine.
Of some odd name.
Uther. Drowned Shrine. That's interesting. I wonder
now
how that's going to do during the turn player, or against the turn player, because the turn player actually draw that many cards before he banners?
They usually do. I mean, the banners, the Consult the Talon.
Okay. The Consult the Talon, yeah.
Doesn't he also play the 3-mana draw 2 Fate Wave?
Nope, I don't believe so. How's that look at Peak? Because Peak does look at the top couple cards in your deck and put it in your hand. Does that count as drawing?
No, that does not count as drawing. So he can still get 1 draw off of his cycle cards like Peak, and he still gets the extra draw for the turn off of his take extra turns.
Right.
Now, getting the second Drowned Shrine means that our turns player can't do something sneaky like using Runebind and then drawing a ton of cards with Consult the Talon.
Yeah.
Now, not having third resource with a hand starting at 4 seems a little bit bad.
It does, yep. But I could see the merit to keeping the double Drowned Shrine, right? Like that is clutch in this matchup, like we just said. It's better than it's obviously better than I thought it was.
Now, our turns player has a really good hand. They have the Cyclone Shaman, or Cyclone Shaper. They have a turn 1 play. They have 2 take extra turn plays. It's going to be turn 3 into take extra turn into take extra turn.
Yep, and we also have the Peak to dig, which we can dig with. However, we found a Howling Brave. Oh, but
we don't see the second Drowned Shrine here.
Interesting choice.
He's holding up the Gargolith to protect it, I guess.
I think there's merit to that. I think you have to hold up the Gargolith because that's going to guarantee your Wrathwood your Wrathwood Master Moss is coming down next turn, so you can actually apply some pressure to the table.
So our turn 1 card from the turn's player is Ancestors Chosen. At the start of his turn, it adds
I'll
two
just go ahead and
1 mana 2/2 flyers to the deck that say when you play them, draw a card. So it gives him sort of a late game option to develop flyers that cycle through the deck.
very interesting card. Really, really decent early game though to get going right away.
It
And
definitely gives him some inevitability.
yeah, especially when you're drawing so many cards, when you start looping your turns. So the Wrathwood Moss is coming down here. Still no second shrine. There's the peak. Ooh, and we found another Cyclone Shaper, which is going to be able to come down this turn.
So they chose to take the extra turn 1 turn later. I feel like this might have been a little bit of a misplay because if he had a shard here into Crocosaur, he could have taken out both Cyclone Shapers and really just thrown a wrench into our turns player's hand.
I agree. This is very unlucky on the mono wide player's side, that he didn't see that second or that fifth shard. Sorry, or I guess fourth. Sorry, that fourth shard. That's very unfortunate.
Crocosaur would have been a giant blowout here.
Yep. Oh, and we have the Stormcloud. Oh, again. We're just playing the Stormcloud and passing.
He has enough. Oh no, he doesn't have enough resources. It's 3 mana for that extra turn.
Yeah.
If we draw a resource off the top, our wild player is still in this.
Oh, and we found the Chloryphia.
Wild player's just not having any luck with this. That looks like it's going to be GG.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because we are going to go Eyes next turn and start looping charge counters on this Stormcloud.
He already has 6, 12, 18 damage on board
Yep.
with the 2 extra turns.
That's very unfortunate. All we needed was a wild card for our mono wild player.
Our Sapphire player was playing very loose, and if our mono wild player saw the one more resource, they could have punished them for it.
Yep. Very, very unfortunate that it worked out this way. Oh, man. Yep, and this is going to be GG next turn. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate for Z-Bounder there. Very, very unfortunate that it worked out that way. But that's unfortunate.
Yes, very much so. Our Sapphire player gave him the opportunity, but his deck did not.
Yeah, that Sapphire player gave him multiple opportunities, but yeah, his deck is just punished him. That's unfortunate. But I was still game 1 and game 2 were good matches. Unfortunately, game 3 ended a little poorly for a mono wild player, but still good match overall.
I think I really liked holding up the Gargolith to protect his Runear there, or his, I always call him Runear, that represents a Runear Howling Brave.
The Howling Brave, yep. Yeah, I think that was definitely a crucial play on his part. He had to guarantee that he could start putting some pressure into play.
So our wild player definitely played it right. Not
sure.
that there is too many ways to play it.
For sure. Yep, our wild player definitely played a lot more. But Z-Bounder's a very good player. I've watched Z-Bounder. I've played Z-Bounder multiple times and watched him play in multiple tournaments. He's a very, very good player. All right, so this is first game of round 3. We got Relax Playa versus X Faded X.
Now, X-Faded X is playing Uzu, the Bone Walker.
I wonder if this is going to be Mono Sapphire or Mono. Oh no, we have a Lixil deck. Interesting. So
Lovely.
Lixil versus Mono Blood. This would be a classic match.
At one point in time in Standard, Uzu meant you were playing direct damage Wild Sapphire.
Interesting. Don't watch those Batman.
Oh my. We have X-Faded X here in chat. Now this is the third round, X-Faded X going up against a 3-0 opponent, I believe.
2-0, yep. Or nope. No, I believe Relax. I believe both these players are 1-1.
1-1?
Yep.
Okay.
So we got Inquisition. What are we taking with Inquisition though? Looking at this hand.
I don't know. There's only 2 resources.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd say. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe stopping your opponent from being able to kill your princess might be the play, but really, it's looking like you take a Crusader, maybe.
I think so, and it doesn't really look like Princess does a whole lot versus this hand. This is a tough choice.
I mean, you don't take the Lixil, or not the Lixil, the High Infinitrix yet. That's a very long ways off.
Yeah.
But having double Crusader here kind of makes the Inquisition a bit less effective.
It's a really tough choice. I wonder what we're gonna go with. Oh,
Getting rid of the Monarch.
Forgotten Monarch. I mean, that
What
is
was it socketed with?
when this deals damage to an opposing champion, you may put target troop from your crypt into hand and speed null zones.
That seems like the correct choice. If he got the Crusader, he would have just been getting it back into his hand with the Monarch.
I agree. I think that Monarch might have been too powerful.
So what are the Crusaders socketed with here? Flight Gem plus 2 Defense Gem. That's what it looks like.
Yep, plus 2 defense is what it looks like.
Which is going to be significant for some of our Blood players' removal.
Very, yep. So the Strangle will come down. Into Vampire Princess.
Very fortunate for Uzu to see that 3rd shard.
For sure. Well, I believe he Fate Weaved the 3rd one, right? Because we did have an Ice come down on 1.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was a different shard into the life gain shard.
This Satyr has Fate Weave on it, not plus 2.
Oh, so there's different sockets in the different Crusaders.
Looks to be, I think that's plus 2. It might be Fate Weave. It'll be tough to say until it comes down. So we're gonna get another Inquisition. Are we probably taking the 2nd Crusader here, I think? Even though you do know he just Fate Weave a shard, which means Uzo is going to be live next turn. Yep, so we did take the 2nd Crusader. Crusader is pretty tough for the Mono Blood decks to beat.
And that is a 6 defense Crusader.
It is, yeah.
Although, the 6 defense Crusader might not be as bad as a 4-4 Crusader for Strangles, because you're flying over their defenses, and this just stops them from drawing cards.
Yep. Yeah, no, I definitely like the 4-6 versus the 4-4 for sure, but I think you probably need the Fate Weave, right, to find all your shards, especially in this deck.
Now, our Blood player is not getting their inevitability just yet, but they've definitely got a lock on what our Uzu can play.
For sure. And this Cockatrice is going to be huge. The Satyr being on board is going to be a nice way to get his advantage back. But,
I feel like
still,
eventually he's just going to play a Massacre on the board to maybe get rid of the Mad Robomancer, assuming the Mad Robomancer doesn't have a +2 defense gem. Yep. And the Crusader is going to be a 1-1, and it's not going to be blocking any of our Blood players' cards, so I don't think he's going to see the card draw off of that Crusader anytime soon.
I definitely think you're right. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
So what is our Mad Robomancer socketed with here? I'm assuming create an action and something else.
Yep, it looks like deploy, create an action. And so we've got deploy, create an action, and +2 defense in all zones.
That +2 defense is going to be very significant for Massacre.
Yep, super significant. Also dodging strangles, because I mean that is another 3 points of damage on board. And it does get to copy itself over and over again, right?
How
Which
do you
is,
feel about Massacre into Strangle against that Mad Robomancer?
I kind of feel like it's worth it at this point.
He's going to Withering Gaze to take out the action
Ooh,
and let it slide.
wow.
Now, we haven't seen very many actions coming from this deck so far, and we know they're troop heavy with the Crusaders in it. So the Gaze, whereas it's a little bit risky, is probably the right play.
I think so. Well, he also knew that he generated a random action off of the Mad Robomancer, right? So we knew he was getting some sort of value out of it. So we're gonna double
And then
strangle. Interesting.
double strangle, be able to keep up the Vampire Princess. Seeing second Crusader here could be really spooky for our Blood player.
Yep. Especially since this one's now a 4/6. I guess still going the massacre route, putting them down to 1, but at the same time, I mean, our blood player isn't drawing gas, and we are in another shard. So here's the
Our
massacre.
Blood player massacres, taking 2 damage a turn and waiting for our top deck to get them out.
Yep.
That narrow
isn't gonna do it.
escape.
Ooh, this is our cast.
It looks like our socket player is coming back. That's really surprising from how this game began.
Yeah. And that's gonna be it.
GG.
Wow.
That was an upset.
Well, Satyrs such a good card versus Mono Blood, right? Like you're basically trading one card for their 2, right? Essentially, like it's literally you're saving points of life to lose card advantage.
Now,
That's,
Extinction is a legal card in this format. Do you think our opponents playing our Mono Blood players playing a budget deck to not be running the Extinctions?
I'm wondering that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because I was looking through some of the Immortal Weeklies, and one of the Immortal Weeklies, literally 100% standard Mono Blood deck, 3-0'd. And it played 3 real decks, one of them being Turns, and another one being Turbo PA. Like,
It is.
and it 3-0'd. Playing like a completely standard legal blood deck. Massacres everything. No princes, or sorry, no princesses, no kings, just standard legal. Mono
It
blood.
is definitely different seeing the Massacre over a Extinction in this matchup.
It really
or
is,
in this
yep.
deck.
I wonder if we'll see Extinctions post board. Maybe we're running additional board wipes.
Maybe. I'm still thinking maybe the Massacres are a um, budget Extinction for the deck, but I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Mono Blood is on the play again. Still Mono Blood versus Uzu Sockets. Or Uzu Crusaders.
Yep. So both these players battling for that 2-1 slot, trying to make their money back, basically their entry fee back in packs. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It'll be interesting to see if we have Extinctions post board or not. I also haven't seen a king at all. Actually, I haven't seen a king again in any of the mono blood lists. Really interesting.
King is always a little bit iffy. With cards like Strangle, currently in Immortal,
That's
I
true.
don't know how well King can stand.
And also, Immortal is not nearly as aggressive as it used to be. Very interesting. So we have an Inquisition in Faded's hand. That's gonna do some work. Oh, but we decided to go with the Midnight Gatherer. Looks like that Midnight Gatherer is going to be met with Vampire Princess.
Vampire Princess is going to be very significant here.
For
So,
sure.
do we Inquisition here and skip the Crusader turn? Or do we Crusader and just go for the odds?
I think you Inquisition here. Skip the Crusader turn. No, we're going to go with the Massacre, get in with the Midnight Gatherer. Okay.
That is very okay.
This Bride,
Queen
though.
is able, or Bride is able to hit the board unchecked now. Missed that opportunity to Inquisition the Bride on turn 2.
Ooh, we found an Ire, though. So Ire into... okay, into Inquisition. This is fine. I think you're just playing Prince. I think you're playing Prince here at this point, and then Satering next turn into those Hero Falls. Even though you're going to lose your Satyrs, drawing 2 cards off the Satyr to get ahead of your opponent in advantage is, I think, going to be very real.
Now, does the Inquisition hit the Prince just because there's 3 removal in hand, anyways?
Yeah, 100%, I think. Yep, there it is. Just keep action out of your opponent's hand. Ooh, we did find another Bride, though.
The Another Bride is
We
not very lucky for our player, but we did get the Inquisition.
we did. Oh, we still don't have the Satyr coming down.
We don't slam the Satyr for the card draw.
I
Maybe trying to play around Hero Fall?
I don't like that. I think I think Satyr into Hero Fall is kind of what you have to do since you know your opponent's pressed for time and you can just draw into more gas. Satyr's a good card in your deck, but it's not your best card in your deck, especially when you're hitting all your shard drops on curve right now. So yeah, okay.
So we get an Extinction and a Hero Fall from our Uzu deck.
This Hero Fall is going to
Now,
line up nicely against this Princess.
our Blood Control, the only really big bombs we've seen from them so far have been the Brides, right? The rest has been Vampire Princes and Vampire Princesses.
Yep. So I think we're going to Hero Fall here. Eek, you have to, because Princess is their best card. Against your hand currently. More Ires. Interesting. Ooh, we are going to get to gas up as our mono blood player here. And we did find a
See
Bride.
a Bride, not playing the Bride, waiting until they have something to remove and take. And again, like we were saying earlier, Bride seems to be one of their only bombs in here, so saving it for the removal seems to be the game plan.
I think that's 100% correct. I don't really like the extinctions in Faded's hand. I don't think that's something. Ooh, man, we have 3 of them too.
I definitely think some of those extinctions could have come out after the game 1.
Yeah, I think those extinctions are something you're citing.
It's possible they expected Vampire Queens or Vampire King to come out of our Mono Blood player, in which case I could see the extinctions being useful.
For sure, and Mono Blood has been a fair bit more aggressive than traditional builds. Like they're going towards Bardock and playing a lot more troops. Usually, you're seeing like the four kings, 4 princesses, 4 princes, plus like 3 or 4 brides on top of that.
However, on the flip side, our Uzu deck's been a very troop heavy, and to put in a double-sided board wipe into a deck that's playing for board advantage
Yeah,
seems a little bit risky, especially putting in what looks to be a 4 copy of it.
for sure. I agree. Oh, we still have that massacre. We also have a closed coffins here. Closed coffins is going to make it tough.
Closed Coffins is really big for this matchup.
Yep. However, we did lose our Crusaders.
However, this could also stop the Prophets
That's true.
from
Yep.
being able to revive troops.
That's very true.
It affects the Monarch as well.
A little bit of a top deck war here. Another Inquisition. Ooh. This is good.
Unfortunately, we have a Strangle in hand and a Massacre in hand from our Mono Blood player.
Oh, which answers that cleanly because it's just invincible, right?
Yep.
Oh no. Using a massacre on that, interesting. Instead of the strangle. I guess you want to save the strangle. Oh, there's a vampire king. Okay.
You definitely want to have the Strangle for if your opponent plays the High Infinitrix.
Yep. Also with the combination of the bride.
And we do have a Vampire King.
We do. That vampire king coming down is going to be really good here because I think you're okay throwing that under the extinction. Nope, we're not okay throwing that under the extinction. Our mono blood player is just sitting here.
Our Mono Blood player has a lot of removal. I'm surprised they're playing all their resources. I guess they're really close to another draw. But I'd maybe start holding a resource for those brides. You have double bride in hand.
I agree. Like, what are we digging for here? Is the question.
I don't think they're digging for anything. I think they're just letting the game play out for inevitability. They know the opponent has the extinction in hand. They know the opponent needs to play troops to be able to win. With your closed coffins, you're able to answer a troop and all copies of that troop in the deck,
Very
gain
cleanly.
that troop onto your side of the board for board advantage. They're just waiting for their opponent to play a troop.
I agree.
They're going to sit back and play the passive control.
Which I like. Yep. You're definitely 100% right, and I think that's definitely the correct line. The only question is who draws out first. Because we are cycling
Our
cards.
Now, Mono Blood may be cycling faster, but Mono Blood has closed coffins.
That's true. So we found a Mad Robomancer. We did take a look at the hand. We know he's got a Strangle in hand.
Mad Robomancer gets answered cleanly by closed coffins and by Hero
Hero
Fall.
Fall, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah. We know he has a Hero Fall in hand. Fortunately, we didn't generate something to protect that Mad Robomancer. Now, this will be interesting. We saw opponent's hand. We know he's got a Strangle and a Hero Fall. So knowing that, okay. So we are just going to go ahead and kill the Mad Robomancer.
We
Ooh.
do have Vampire Queens here too.
Vampire Queen is good, considering we took his board wipes at this point. I think this is a turn that you... Nope, still not running up Vampire Queen.
He's still just playing for his control, wanting to hold his extinction for if the opponent plays two troops.
Yep.
Now, we don't get to see the in-game clock, but it could be possible that our Mono Blood player is also ahead of time, and they're leveraging it for Game 3.
That is true, yep. That could be... That definitely could be the case.
Vampire Prince is a clean play here, able to get rid of some removal, protect these brides.
Another Hero Fall. So the Queen is going to come down. The Queen is going to be very hard for the Uzu player to deal with. Excuse me. Like we know he's lost 3 massacres, or sorry, 3 extinctions.
Yep. We have a Hero Fall in hand, but the Hero Fall does not answer the babies.
Nope. We did get a High Infinitrix. Interesting top deck. Gatherer comes down.
Now, do we play one of the brides, or do we play around Extinction here? I think we just leverage this Vampire Queen until your opponent does something about it.
I agree. I think you have to play that line. Found a Midnight Paladin.
Unfortunately, Midnight Paladin's real strength in this deck is being able to come back from the crypt and hit your opponent for the 5 another time.
Yep.
If he can hold up 2 Midnight Paladins in hand, he can get really close to lethal, but even then, that's not there.
Nope.
The first Midnight Paladin dying is going to mean he doesn't have that line of play.
Which is very
Now,
unfortunate. And being able to kill this Midnight Paladin now and then come back and just gain another 5 is...
yeah, the life drain vampires, Blood's had this under control ever since our Uzu player bricked up those extinctions.
Yep. Yeah, they're closed coffins.
We'll probably just play the closed coffins to get them out of hand.
I think so, yep. Man, so we are going to gain 7 life here. So we're going to go back to 13.
Our opponent has to play the hero fall here because of the double princess.
Now knowing that, you can go ahead and safely bride. Play a shard, take the Midnight Paladin, burn your opponent back. Oh, we can't take it, right, because it exiles. Never mind.
Yeah, the closed coffins does apparently work against our bride.
For sure. But our bride also being able to basically be a body removal spell here that gets to kill things, plus apply pressure is very relevant. Oh, and we do
Now,
have
what do you
Defendle.
feel about him playing both of his brides here when he doesn't have any troop to follow it up, knowing his opponent might have one more extinction in deck?
Yeah. I mean, we also haven't looked at the graveyard, so maybe we did lose that last extinction already.
That is possible.
Let's just take a quick look. So we got one extinction, and he took 2. So yeah, there is potentially another extinction left in deck. So yeah, that's interesting. That's very aggressive. But at this point, you can close the game out. There it is.
So we're going to be going on to game 3 in between these two.
Game 3, yeah, very,
Who do you think?
very well played by the mono blood player there at the end. Very well.
Who do you
played.
think will have the advantage in this game 3?
It's tough to say. Very tough to say. I think since Uzu will be on the play, maybe Uzu, because Uzu can open aggressive enough, and also being able to hit Inquisitions a turn early, is very, very relevant. But it's tough. It's very tough.
I think the Uzu needs to be able to get the early tempo into some of their late game strategies to come through this, and maybe even just tempo in general, because their late game strategies get answered really cleanly by some of the mono blood answers. Like their late game strategy of being able to bring things back with profit is answered by closed coffins. Their late game strategy of Mad Robomancer gets answered really cleanly by Hero Fall.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I think, to be honest with you, yeah, I don't. I think you're 100% right. I don't really have a different opinion than you. So I guess we'll go find out. All right, and we're live. Game number 3. First, Relaxed Playa versus Faded. Faded on the play this time. Uzu Bonewalker on the play.
So, Uzo on the play is going to be pretty significant with cards like Prince and Crusader. However, both of those are 3-drops. We didn't see the Silver Talon the last couple of games. Silver Talon is a really nice tempo card.
It really is, yep. Especially being on the play, being able to gas back up.
However, look at this Blood Hand. If he gets to see a resource, he definitely has cards to play.
Oh, for sure. This hand is very good. And there is the resource. We also have, interesting, not playing the ice on one.
Yes, I think that might be a misplay.
Might be a misclick, yep. So this is where the real skill in the Yuzu deck comes into play. What are you playing here? Okay, so we are going to decide to go with that, so we're not going to try and get our double blood going.
Well, you can't... Oh, was that with a Sepulchre card?
That was just a well. It wasn't
Okay.
no, he still has the Crypt Dust in his hand.
I was staring at the opponent's hand.
But there was merit to playing up the Crypt Dust and getting blood with the Crypt Dust, and then playing at the second turn, so you're on Diamond Double Blood.
However, that would lock you out from Talon and Prince Zakez.
Yep. This 80% of the skill behind this Uzu Bonewalker deck is definitely in playing your shards, sequencing your shards correctly.
So who are we inquisitioning out of hand here?
Whew. It's tough to say.
If this Crusader is the +2 defense Crusader, I could definitely see the Crusader going.
Which I believe it is. Yeah, it's tough to say. Yep, so it is going to be Seder.
Now, Zakez is going to be coming in and going to definitely be answered before it can untap.
I agree. Yep. Yeah, I think our Mono Blood player is going to have to answer that with a Strangle. There it is.
And they can probably look for fifth resource from that.
Oh
And I
no.
see no reason for them not to find fifth resource.
I agree. I think here you're finding your fifth resource. Or sorry, your sixth resource. Okay, so we found our second blood.
Our Uzu bricked for a turn.
Which
That
is
is going to be horrible.
very unfortunate. However, being able to go Inquisition here, you get to take the Bride, which is very good, and then follow up with the Strangle to deal with any of his pressure, which does give you a few turns of headroom here. But then again, I could also actually I could see taking the Hero Fall just because you can strangle the Prince and then Hero Fall the Bride. I actually like taking the Hero Fall, or you can put enough pressure on board where you force your opponent to have to massacre your board as well as eating their own troops. So there's a
I
few
do
good
feel
lines
like
there.
taking the Bride might have been the right play, though, because you can force a Hero Fall on your Silver Talon.
That's true. Yep. Which Silver Talon does get to come down next turn.
Now, having the 5 thresholds doesn't mean anything with this Bride, and now this Bride is actually significantly worse because of the box.
Yep.
We get to draw 2 turns and most likely hit the resource to be able to kill this Talon next turn.
Hero Fall on the Bride. There's good. So we are going to draw. Cycle the coin. And we are going to see the Massacre come down.
Now this is going to be a very feels bad game for our Uzu player, it's looking like.
Yep. Not seeing that double diamond is not going well for him right now.
Our blood player doesn't play a very large amount of troops to beat down with. Getting rid of the brides kind of gets rid of a little bit of the pressure,
We
but
do
it's
have
just
Strangle
going-
to answer.
Uzu just really doesn't deal well with the 1-for-1 trading with these removal cards.
For sure.
Now, what's this ire on?
This Ire took the coffins.
So if our opponent wanted the coffins back, our mono blood player wanted the coffins back, they can void that now. It's very possible we'll see this Seeker come down in the future and get rid of both of these binding ires.
For sure, especially since we now get to go Seeker. Okay. Even though we drew a Strangle, I expected to go Seeker on 1. Get back your coffins, strangle the Ifatrix. Interesting.
I feel like this is a fine play. Although Hero Fall on Infinitrix is a big deal.
And now we get a gas back up with Blood's Favor. Ooh, and we did find Double Prince. Double Prince coming down here is going to be good. It's going to bait out the rest of Uzu's removal. Ooh, Underworld Crusader's good here, though.
Yeah, Underworld Crusader being able to draw more cards and being killed in main phase 1 might have been significant.
Yep, that was definitely a little loose on the Mono Blood player's hand, or Mono Blood player's side. Ooh, however, we do get to take a piece of removal here and go double Prince. And I think
to get rid of the ire or the other card.
I think you take the Strangle. I 100% agree with that.
Hitting double shard off of that Crusader is not good.
It really isn't, but we did find a Forgotten Monarch.
Unfortunately, that Forgotten Monarch can't get through these princes.
It cannot. Nope. I kind of kind of feel like that was well, we are. It is going to meet removal anyways. But I was going to say I kind of feel like that was something you hold, and yep, there it is.
I feel like it might have been the play to hold it and try and get back a Crusader or get back a Paladin.
Oh no, we're gonna get the classic. Prince is gonna control your draws for the rest of the game, and you're just gonna draw shards. That's unfortunate.
Well, we knew this was going to happen against the Mono Blood. Mono Blood answers the Uzu deck very well with the one-for-one trades of removal.
It does. Yep.
Uzu's able to develop a lot of threats that must be killed, but Uzu doesn't seem to generate a lot of card advantage.
Oh, okay. So we are holding up removal. This Hero Fall isn't gonna take down. Interesting. Okay. I expected Hero Fall to take down the Midnight Paladin.
I think he just wants to develop a lethal here.
Okay, that's fair. And it's definitely going to be lethal seeing that second shard. I think this is going to be the end for the Uzu player. Very unfortunate.
So Mono Blood just answering these troops one for one very effectively.
Yep. Massacre off the top. Nope. So that looks like it's going to be it for the Uzu player.
Now I do have to take one thing back. They brought in a lot of extinctions for that game too, and I thought it was a misplay when they bricked on them. However, after seeing the Vampire Queen in game 2 and the Vampire King in game 2, seeing that this person's playing the full vampire family.
I think it was definitely correct. Yep. I'm definitely
Yeah.
taking that back. I think it was definitely correct for Faded to bring that in. 100%. I think he just had very unfortunate draws. We got Faded in chat here. Shout out to you, Faded, for playing this deck. You said you got it from Curtis. You said it was your first time playing it. I don't know if it's your first time playing Immortal, but regardless, shout out to you. This is a very challenging deck. Immortal Q is not very popular, so it's really tough to test your Immortal decks before going into one of these series, but you still piloted the deck very well for your first time around.
It was a very, very hard matchup for the deck.
And that too, yeah. Having to play one of your hardest matchups for the deck for your first time around is not easy, but you definitely played it very well. So hats off to you. Good job there. Unfortunate you lost there, but you definitely played it well. So, but yeah. So relax playa gonna finish 2-1 here.
So how many more games are we going to
All right, guys. Last game of the night. here's the finals. So our other finalist tonight that went 3-0 was Skesh. So congratulations to Skesh. Unfortunately, though, they only played one game, and then it looked like his opponent just conceded and dropped out to him. I don't know what happened there. His opponent wasn't there. There was only one 5-minute game recorded, so it's most likely his opponent wasn't there. But congratulations to Skesh going 3-0. And this is Shirion the Mage versus Thanatos in the battle for the other person going 3-0. And this is the one I've been waiting for. This is the one I'm excited about.
We've got 9vet on Turn's deck, and our Thanatos is currently on Turbopaw.
Yep.
So both of these decks are very similar. One's taking extra turns, the other one's trying to just combo out and turn sideways, but they both explode in the same manner.
Yep. This will be very, very interesting to see which combo deck comes out on top. The one thing I have noticed, though, about the taking turns deck is they're a lot less interactive than the Turbo PA deck. But we are going to meet each other with Thunder Seers. Oh, sorry.
Our taking turns deck definitely doesn't seem to run as much board interaction. However, how do you feel about the Diamond Sapphire deck having access to the Cosmic card, the Mobilize card?
Cosmic Calling, I think that is definitely going to make it be able to go off faster. And I think that card is definitely going to be clutch in this match. However, an early Stormcloud coming down is very interesting.
However, we do have Runebind in Transmogrifade to interact with that Stormcloud.
We also found a Light Devotives here.
We have Light Devotives, Cosmic Calling, Runebind, Transmogrifade. We definitely have cards to play this turn. We have Cosmic Shaper in hand. This deck is ready to go off with just a little bit of draw.
Interesting. We chose not to mobilize there.
On the flip side, I feel like our turns deck is going a little bit slower. They don't have their cost reduction. They do have the early Stormcloud, but the early Stormcloud is going to be answered by either Runebind or Transmogrifade.
Yeah, it's definitely risky to run that Stormcloud out as early as he did. Oh, and we are going to see a Cyclone Shaper come down. No cantrip yet, so this is a little dangerous. However, we do have the Runebind to protect it. And that Transmog is going to come down. Note that Runebind is also prophesized, so it is going to draw him a card.
No, Turbopod doesn't have their draw function up and running. They can definitely brick at this point.
That is true, yep.
So Mono Sapphire turns deck has double Runebind and Peak in hand.
Oop,
they have their...
We're also up to being able to start taking turns. Ooh, but we found a Consult. But we
However, double Runebind to answer this Consult.
And not to mention, one of them is also prophesized. It'll be very interesting. Oh, so we are going to rip the Runebind into... Man.
Now this is probably game here.
I think so. I think the turns player is just going to be able to comfortably go off.
Turns player drew a slow resource, so they're not going to be able to play Eyes first.
Which is a little unfortunate. However, even playing Eyes into Stormcloud next turn is still going to be good. It's still going to get them to their banner. They're just going to start generating an absurd amount of advantage. And they are getting in for 3 points of damage a turn here. Oh, look at this. We found another Time Walk.
But they're deciding to take the slow approach.
Interesting.
The top deck resource is really massive here. This might be an opportunity for our Turbopop player to get back into this game.
Yep, because we get a Runebind. Oh, we also found a Psychic Ascension.
And more card draw.
Yep.
This is a very big upset.
Unless if we don't find interaction here, this could be a very different game. We do need to find some way to stop the turns deck from going off. and we have yet to find that. Light Devotives does not do it, however, we do get a Rip Psychic Ascension.
Psychic
But
Ascension,
no
no
charges.
charges. Unfortunately, even though Nineveh allowed the extra turn here so they could play a little bit more safely on their extra turns,
They definitely
this
got
is
burnt.
probably going to be GG on the side of the extra turns.
Ooh, not quite yet. Um, not quite yet. Oh, it's Polymorphic Army.
This has been either person's game for the last two turns, and this looks like the win for Thanatos.
Yep, he's got to commit to it.
He might be afraid of a runebind, but our opponents play two runebinds.
Yep, and I think at this point, seeing that your opponent has the banner, they have the Storm Cloud, you have no way to deal with the Storm Cloud, you have to go for it.
This was a very exciting match.
It definitely was, and that's going to be it. Polymorphic Army, once again, very clutch. Just stealing
It
the win.
was a beautiful top deck.
It really was, yep.
Honestly, I kind of feel like our turns player should have gone into their turns earlier.
I agree. I think our turns player definitely misplayed. I think you should have just been going into turns, getting that banner going. And if anything, by the time you're going to give your opponent another turn, you better have that banner so that you can try and scramble to survive that turn and then draw a couple extra cards and try and go off.
Now we've seen this from this player a couple of times in this series. They tend to be a little bit more greedy and go an extra turn to try and get the extra +1 turn or the extra draw instead of trying to get the extra turn early and going for it.
Yeah, it's definitely punished him a few times. I wonder if he'll learn his game or learn from his mistake in the next game. I guess we'll have to find out.
So that last game was super exciting. It was a card fight Vanguard moment where you could call final turn during the last three turns and still be wrong.
Yep, definitely. It was very interesting. A few interesting plays on both sides, and kind of a cool top deck war.
So from these opening hands, we see we see the evaporation inside of Thanatos' deck. I kind of thought they would sideboard that out for something else.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
I mean, the evaporation, I guess, protects from Runebind, but you could probably also run a halt to protect from Runebind.
Right, but you also have to look at how many transmogs are we running versus evaporate. Maybe we just don't have the cards, and like you said, evaporate still at least protects your shaper.
Now, I know from seeing this turns deck, but I don't know if the turns deck's running transmog in it.
That's a good question. Yeah, we haven't seen a turns deck play transmog yet. That's very interesting. Another interesting thing too, I believe it was Thanatos too. The one night that we watched him, he was one of his techs in his sideboard for these combo mirrors was actually deny, which was very interesting.
The Turbo Paw has the Cyclone Shaper up on mine now, but they don't have the draw. They kind of have the Psychic Ascension in their hand early. It's a bit rough, whereas our turns player has draw, has an extra turn, has a rune bind, has a verdict. They're ready to go for a while.
They are, yep. And we are going to see the Consult come down. Ooh, and we found another turns. We also found the shard to play our mastery time next turn.
Yeah, our turns player is already ready to go off.
Yep. It's going to be very interesting to see how the Turbo VA player responds to this. And again, we still don't have any way to interact with our opponent. Our turns, I think our turns player just gets to comfortably peek here, find his 6th resource.
Now we see these.
We still found a transmog in deck. Interesting.
We do see the 3-mana card come out from Turbopod to maybe try and answer the Cyclone Shapers and also maybe to answer the Stormcloud.
That's a very aggressive Evaporate. I guess it does hold him off of Cosmic Calling. Or not Cosmic Calling, sorry, Consult, so I don't hate that.
But he doesn't get to play his Transmog.
That's very... No. Oh, that's very true, yep. And that is a Prophesized Transmog. This is our Turbo...
Oh, it's a free Transmog. I forgot about the Cyclone Shaper.
We do have Shaper, that's right. So that is going to be met with a verdict. Are we going to see the Evaporate come down?
It might have been correct, from our point of view, for him to use the Evaporate to try and force the counter magic before using the Transmog.
Yep. I agree. Ooh, so we didn't find a shard. However, we do get to find it with Peak next turn, but...
Our turns player has 4 extra turns in hand.
Yep. I think our turns player has to prioritize finding that shard with Peak and just jamming his turns and hope it gets through.
He can play the Mastery of Times on 5.
Ooh, we do have the Into the Unknown coming down. Right, but at this point in time, you don't have the resources to play your Mastery of Time, plus hold up some way to stop your opponent, right, from countering it.
But every Mastery of Time that gets answered is a answer less they have for the next one, right?
That's very true.
I guess they
yep.
can peek.
Interesting.
The Consult was very good to find there.
Interesting choice on the Thunderfields here over the Arcane Focus, trying to find that that 6th resource so you could try and go off next turn. What's this Psychic Ascension on too? It's got to be getting down. Psychic Ascension is on 6. So if we see any combination of draw cards here from the Turbo PA player this turn, which we...
And Psychic Ascension is active.
Oh, we actually have Psychic Ascension active, yep. Yeah, the turns player has to go off here. Oh man, look at this board. The turns player has to go off.
The Turbopop player didn't find a Runebind.
Didn't. This is big. Ooh, what's the choice here is the question. I mean,
you have to go for the extra turns, right? You don't have an option.
I don't... Oh, we did find the shard, though, so we're all right. But yeah, you gotta go. You just gotta take turn after turn after turn here. I don't know if it's gonna be good enough, though. Look at this board that he's facing down.
It's the only option.
Yep. Oh, man.
One less troop for damage and possibly draw power.
I don't like discarding the shard there. I also... Interesting. Okay. No, actually, this is fine. You are drawing extra cards. Next turn, you get to go Cycle Shaper plus Mastery of Time. Yep. Ooh. That's a very aggressive Runebind. Okay.
Our turns player must have this. They're going to be drawing 2 extra cards this turn, and the turn after that, they're going to be drawing 3 extra cards.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see.
They've got their cost reduction. However, they've gone through, I think, 4 Mastery of Times and 1 Eyes so far.
Yep, and we still haven't found a Stormcloud. Interesting. Another aggressive room and another aggressive Runebind. I mean, I guess you just have to try and fight through at this point, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
I think he has a really high chance at finding it.
Oh, he definitely does, but I mean, we haven't seen it yet, and oop, that's an eyes. Still haven't found it.
Yeah, he still has another 9 cards just from what we see on hand and board that
Yep.
he gets to see.
Another eyes. Still no Stormcloud. Very
That other
interesting.
eyes represents another 5 cards he gets to see.
Yep. Oh, we didn't ban her.
That's a little bit of a misplay.
Yep.
Or look at how many cards he has left in deck.
Oh, only 13 cards in deck, so yeah, maybe he can't. Oh, we are gonna ban her.
He probably paused to think of how many cards he has left in deck to play these extra turns
Yep.
and to draw with banners.
We didn't play a turns card that turn.
Yes, this is a little bit suspicious. He just conceded.
Oh no, what happened there?
I don't know.
Was that maybe a misclick? That might
Maybe he
have been.
forgot to play the extra turn. I'm confused very much.
He might have. I wonder if that was maybe a misclick. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess the mystery goes still goes unsolved on whether or not what combo deck has the ability. Because I'm comfortable in saying that was most likely the turns deck.
I'm pretty sure the turns deck had that one, unless they were out of cards in their deck to be able to help them push through this board. Now, they were at, I believe, 13 cards, drawing 5 next turn. So they were at 2 more turns at least.
Yeah.
Or they were at 2 more turns at most to win.
But that still might have been enough to get through. Very interesting. Very very unfortunate ending of the finals. Extremely unfortunate. But congratulations to Thanatos on 3-0ing tonight, as well as Exeth, I think his name was. Let's just head back to the standings here.
Okay, I'd like to take one moment to talk about that last game and how that
Sketch.
turned out.
Okay, so congratulations to Thanatos and Sketch. And then
It was unfortunate how that last game ended. It looks like it either ended in a misclick or ended in the extra turns player realizing how many turns they had left in their deck and what cards they had left in their deck. But more than likely, it was a misclick.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like the turns deck maybe could have put an alternate win con into their reserves for that game. As far as the matchup goes, I kind of feel like Turbopaw has it right now, and that's only because the turns deck doesn't really seem to be optimized to interact with the other deck as much.
Right. The turns deck was also born in a format with Lasgar's Vengeance. And so basically the turns deck, it seemed like, was just trying to ignore what its opponent was doing for the most part, and just try and turbo into making enough storm clouds that it could just block until it eventually killed its opponent. So I wonder if maybe they're just stuck on that old build and they haven't thought about all the mid-range decks that have now entered the format and actually playing cards in your sideboard to be able to fight those decks. I'm curious to see how that deck will evolve.
I'm very interested in doing another Immortal format in the future and seeing what comes up and how those two decks continue to exist or die in the current meta.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. Yeah. But once again, congratulations to Thanatos and Skesh. Here are your guys' standings. We had 16 players tonight. So, congratulations to Thanatos and Skesh, and good job to everybody else that played in the tournament. Good showing. 16 players tonight. That's definitely a little more. Usually Immortal is only sitting around 10 or 12. So I'm happy to see a few more players coming out. Definitely a tough format though, like was said in the chat earlier. Not being able to have a consistent way, not having a consistent way to. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Having a consistent way to actually test the format or play the format because ladder is just so hit and miss. So very good, very awesome for the players that showed up to try and test their skills in the format. So.
For anybody who does play an Immortal, we do offer a testing grounds inside of the guild. where you can test against other people playing in the immortal format or other people who are just in the guild to help you prepare for your different matchups. And we have a lot of players with access to cards from the immortal set to practice against, and a lot of players that have a very high skill base.
Yeah, so we are, I believe we are accepting applications right now, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, Prismatic is accepting applications. We also have the guest feature too. You can guest in the guild, so you can still get access to the general chat to interact with the guild members while not being directly tied to the guild, and that does give you the ability. Obviously, you don't get some of the perks of the guild, but it does give you the ability to be able to get in personal contact with certain players if you would like to test.
Yes, the guest feature is very useful for if you're like a streamer or a member of another guild that would like to have access to chatting with us and trading with us. You can definitely go into our guild Discord, into the apply chat, and just say that you're applying to be a guest with a normal application, name, birthday, are you in another guild, etc. All explained on the welcome page, and we'll welcome you with open arms.
Yep. So I think we're gonna call her a night there, guys. Thank you everybody for coming out. It was awesome. Once again, congratulations to Thanatos and Skash on their 3-0. And thanks for coming out and supporting the format, guys. Really appreciate it. I myself would really like the format to take off, and I believe Hellcrescent as well is a supporter of the format. Correct?
I am very happy that Immortal format is here, and I'm really happy that there's a weekly tournament, and I thank you, everybody at Hex Primal, for making it a thing.
Excellent.
I really like to be able to see these Immortal cards being used in other places than PvE.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you again, everybody, for showing up. I've been Hellcrescent, and I've been casting with Mustache Magic.
Have a good night, everybody.
Sayonara.